So U.S. Sweden. Look, we gotta assume that Sweden, they see blood in the water. They are the sharks that see a weakened, a hurt United States. No Rose Lavelle. Wow, how are you feeling about this upcoming match?
I'm not feeling great after the last time these two teams met in a competitive match. It was in the Olympics, and Sweden whooped the U.S. 3-0. The U.S. honestly, they didn't look like they showed up. It was a really difficult loss for the United States and kind of set the tone for that Olympics games. But if any time the U.S. can show their mentality, because this is a new tournament, this is a U.S. team who, despite what happens in the group round, and we saw that in 15, they figure out a way to win games. And that's all that matters right now. You have to win this game. You have to advance to the next round. Sweden is going to cause them issues. And if we do not see this change, Christian, I think everybody is going to have more gray hairs or just less hair in general because they're going to pull their hair out. But we need to see Julia Ertz in the midfield in this game.
Yeah, I mean,
we need to see Julia Ertz in the midfield.
Absolutely super important. Yeah, there's no. I don't think there's any way to win without that change. I'll just echo this as well. Like I think it's an interesting World Cup in that we have so many former players sharing their thoughts on like players that they just played with, or even they're talking about a team that, barring injury, they're probably on that team, and they're really sharing their thoughts. So like Tobin Heath and Kristen Press, I appreciate that they're just like they're not saying like, yo, Vlatko, what's your problem? What are you doing? They're not saying that. But they're just like, we need to adjust tactically and make the changes necessary. And so it's like they're saying it without saying it and calling anybody out. They're being as constructive as possible. But
which is what happened in 15. They kind of changed. They were like, we're not comfortable with how things are going. We have to change things. The team changed things is what I kind of get from this group and hearing all the stories coming out of 15. The team, you're going to get set up how you get set up. But you have to be able to adjust on the fly in the game too as a group. And that type of mentality of like, I appreciate what is given to us, but I also see what we're playing against and we're going to tweak these little things.
Yeah.
But from the coach's perspective, those changes need to be made. Alana Cook needs to play. Ertz needs to be in the midfield. And if you need be, and you have to push for a late goal, you can switch to a 3-back so quickly.
Yeah.
And you still have Ertz on the field. You put another good player who's good at heading. I just don't know how Alana Cook went from starting every match to not even seeing the field yet.
Right. Yeah. It's a desperate need of changing the formation, in my opinion. I think Kristen Press suggested like, or Abby Dahlkemper was on, and she said 4-2-3-1. I think look, it seems like the strategy is we have some of the best attackers in the world, and even I thought this before the World Cup started. I'm like, we're going to score a bunch of goals. I'm a little concerned about the defense, losing Becky Sauerbrunn, but we're going to score a bunch of goals, and it's the opposite. We can defend decently. We cannot score any goals, and that's really the issue. And it's not to blame any of the forwards. It's
hard to score goals.
Very hard, and it's just that the midfield can't operate. I mean, and it's not even any individual player's fault. It's just it seems that the strategy is, and if I'm trying to get inside Vlatko's head, it seems like we have better players. Our better players will solve any problem on the pitch because our players are better, and that is not always enough, right? It seems like we have the best players on the pitch, but we don't have the best team on the pitch, right? Like the lineup should be a little bit different, don't you think?
Absolutely. I agree exactly with your point. And what is strange to me is when this is what I feel like if I was on this team, this would be my thoughts. You get on the ball and it's like, we're told to do this one thing. So that thing is the team is thinking about the game plan and how that is supposed to be executed. But then they get there and that's not the solution to the problem. And so then everybody is in this like timid in between, like, how do we solve it? Where I am saying, whatever the game plan is, if the game is not presenting you with that solution, you guys are good. These are some of the best players in the world. I agree with you.
Yeah.
Solve the problem. And I think it is with a little bit more movement off the ball. I think the tempo has to up. We have not seen this team play fast. Yeah. They have been in transition moments where they slow it down and bring the ball back. They have swung the ball around to switch the point of attack, and there's players taking 2, 3, 4 touches. They've lost the ball on the dribble in wrong situations. That's tempo. That's just decision making. That's movement off the ball to make sure those players on the ball have an option. So they can solve it. I do believe they can solve it. Will they do that against a Swedish team who is going to know that they can overload the midfield and cause problems? And they're also going to know they're going to have set pieces to deal with. They've been very good on set pieces, and Alyssa Nair has gone fishing a couple times on set pieces. They gotta shore that up.
Yeah, I say own the midfield. I would put 5 midfielders, maybe 1 attacker, and just control the game. And then from there, the substitute, get rid of a midfielder to try to attack, but just control the game. I would love to see Christy Mewis in the game.
Me too. I kind of feel like it would be a good game for her.
Yeah, is she the paciest player? No, but as far as just like controlling the ball, controlling the game, and this is why the difference between the roster in 19 and now, like not having players like Ali Long. Ali Long is just
Mewis.
Samuel, of course, and it's just like that, and that mentality. The approach, having 2 tall midfielders in Haran and Mewis allowed us to dominate a lot of games, and not having Sam Mewis changes the approach a lot, and also, and it seems odd that Haran is like such an attacking midfielder when that doesn't seem like what we need right now.
So maybe Mewis and Ertz, and you want Haran higher.
I'd be fine with that because I would trust.
I'd be go with that.
I would go with that too. I mean, especially not having Lavelle. I would bench Andy Sullivan, maybe bring her on late in the game. So look, we can have out there, but this is it. But you know what? In general, we weren't having these conversations in 19 and 15 because in general we were just we had it all under control and kind of figured out, and we could just talk about mentality. But it's like, no, now we have the other teams are really good, and we got to really figure out a good strategy.
And it's been like that for about 2 years. If you've been watching this team, there's been questions about how they solve issues for a couple of years now.
Yeah,